Hi there, Karen Flaherty here from Living by Human Design. Hope you're doing well and hope you had a great 4th of July holiday. Looking forward to telling you today about the Gate 53, which is all about beginnings. So let's go. Okay, great. So we've got the Sun in the Gate 53 today, started July 7th in the morning, and it goes until July 12th. We've also got the Earth in the Gate 54, which is called the Gate of Ambition. Yes, and now, so we have two more gates, as I've mentioned in the last two videos, two more gates that are coming off the root. And I think we've almost gone all the way around the root center. Today we've got the 53, which comes right off the top of the root down here. And we've got the 54, which comes off the side of the root. So it's the beginnings and ambition, and they work together. And so you can imagine that somebody with these gates in their chart would be somebody who's both ambitious and who likes to start things. And that's just, it's an archetype, right? It's a way of being. It's a way, you probably know people like this. You probably would be surprised or not so surprised to see that their channels, their gates actually include these two energies, the 53 and the 54. So they do work together. We start the week with two centers defined, but that's only because of the moon. I just happened to run this with the moon in 35, and so it does create still that, but just for a few hours, that connection between the throat and the solar plexus, but that's going away very shortly. So as last week, we were all feeling like manifestors, but this is only for a few hours. And then we go to no transit channels at all in the body chart. So it'll be all white again for the conscious transits. And that hasn't happened in a while. So we actually, that'll be for the rest of the week. Everything will be relatively calm, no emotional energy, no, if you don't have it already, but definitely no emotional energy if that's not your norm. We still are retrograde with a number of planets, though: Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto. Nothing as uproarious as Mercury retrograde, but they do have us thinking about things in a little more introspective way, so that we can make some decisions, perhaps make some changes, and evolve as we're always doing. So with the Sun in the Gate 53, in the I Ching, they call it development or beginnings. And this development as a structured progression that is both steadfast and enduring. So basically it's starting something for sure, starting something certain, starting something that's important for you or important to the incarnation crosses this week, or the cross of penetration, beginnings, and cycles. And in the gene keys, we have immaturity is the shadow, expansion is the gift, and superabundance is the CD. Gate 54 is about ambition. It's also called, in the I Ching, it's also called drive, or sometimes called the marrying maiden, as in you are an ambitious maiden and you tend to have, one relationship that's good, and then the next one's better, and the next one's even better. It's that kind of thing. The description in the definitive book of, so the description in the definitive book says interaction in its mundane social context, but also one's mystical and cosmic relationships. So it can be kind of ambition on a number of levels, right? It can be spiritual ambition. It can be basically anything that evolves in your life. It can be your business. It's definitely part of the business circuit, but it's also part of any other type of ambition that you might have in life. Whether it's about family or friends or making things better for the community, things like that. In the gene keys, greed is the shadow. You can see how someone who's ambitious might be greedy on the shadow side. Aspiration is the gift, and ascension is actually the CD. So again, a very spiritual energy. In the gene keys, we talk about the Gate 53 as being about beginnings, but also about balance. So as Richard says, when our spirit ripens, our life tends to move naturally towards balance. And the actual, the CD, or the highest level of it, is superabundance. So it can be a very prosperous way when you're starting anything, right, to move into the next phase or the next project or the next change or evolution of that, whatever it is. So he asks in the book, what is the true essence of this beginning? When you are starting something new, it's a good question to ask yourself. What's the true essence of this beginning? What am I starting? What do I want to have happen eventually? How do I want this to progress? What do I want it to look like? Who do I want to involve? There's so many questions at the beginning of any kind of project or undertaking, and he's just saying, and I'm saying, take it take it for what it's worth, because the beginning can sow the seeds of the balance that you want and create something that's really long lasting and prosperous and fruitful for everyone. He also says that the beginnings are the driving force of evolution as consciousness burrows deeper and deeper into the material life. So as we get, more and more toys or more things, and we become more prosperous, and we have things around us that we either need or don't need, it is the driving force of evolution. It's what causes all of us to move forward. Is starting something, right? It's the beginning of something. Is allowing something to start and then prosper and grow and evolve and do all the good things that we hope any good project or undertaking will involve. So it can be very spiritual to begin something. And if you know about the law of attraction, or you've studied human design with me or anyone else, you'll know that the traits that we have in our lives, in our body graphs, are the ones that stay with us all the time. Those beginnings are really important because they're the ones that allow for the emergence of the chart in all its glory, basically, in all its purpose, in all its growth potential. And that's what this is about too. So when it comes to the birthdays this week, we've got some interesting people. We've got Giorgio Armani, who are born. These are all born in the Sun Gate 53, of course. So Marianne Williamson, Courtney Love, Tom Hanks, Buckminster Fuller. Now, that's somebody who started a lot of different projects, right? He was an architect. Buckminster Fuller made the geodesic dome. If you've ever seen that, it's really pretty incredible. And he had a lot of very spiritual things to say, actually, with regard to evolution and the planet and how the species will continue or not. Also, Malala Yousafzai, with the young woman from, I believe, Pakistan, who has been quite a personality on the world stage, speaking at the United Nations and with many environmental and peace organizations wanting to create peace in the world. She's been very involved with those. So those are some of the people born in this week. And then in terms of history this week, from July 7th to the 12th, we've got on July 8th in 1889, the Wall Street Journal was first published. Also on July 8th in 1947, that was the day that supposedly something crashed. They called it a flying disc into a ranch near Roswell, New Mexico, and they just declared it to be Area 47 for many, many years. I think it is now open to the public, but that was interesting. Certainly a beginning, perhaps, of the age of the possibility of aliens and Star Trek and Star Wars and all of those fantastical things that have come about. And who knows if any of them are true or not, or if there really is life on other planets. Certainly a beginning there. Also, the Enigma code was broken by Alan Turing during World War II, which largely helped to decode a lot of communications that were important during World War II. Also in 1940, the Germans started bombing they started the raids in Great Britain, which devastated much of London and some of the outskirts of London. And then July 12th, in 1967, the race riots began in Newark, New Jersey. It turns out that it was a black cab driver that had been arrested and beaten by the police, which I actually hadn't been aware of. The beginnings of it, I was relatively young at that point, but still, I didn't actually know how it started. So that was interesting to find out. And so with this beginnings, it could be a good week to start something new. It could be a good week to uh, think about something new, to perhaps journal about it or meditate about it. And it's a good energy for starting anything that's important to you. So with that, have a great week. And I look forward to speaking with you next week. Be well. Take care.